Hello, Canyon Creek. So I want to take a few minutes and talk to you about all that is going on in the life of the church. There are some wonderfully exciting things happening, as well as some hurdles that we have ahead of us. One of the exciting things is that over the past year, we have seen an increase in visitors and new members, many of whom are younger families with children, and it shows. Because of that, we've also had a strong season of baptisms, with more on the way. All of it is an affirmation that our care is being noticed by the wider community. In other words, it's an exciting time to be part of what God is doing here at the church. Something else you may have been aware of, many of you have been aware of actually, are the new initiatives that we are working on as part of our Becoming a Matthew 25 church. Two of those initiatives are already gaining speed. The first is our partnership with True Love Church in Garland, a predominantly African American congregation that specializes in reaching unchurched people who live on the fringes of our world. You're going to continue to hear more and more about that, and it will continue to slowly grow, but I want you to know that building relationships takes time. But please remember that we expect our partnership to keep growing. The second thing is the counseling center that is going to be housed here on our campus. Our implementation team is currently in conversation with a strong possibility and is expecting to bring a recommendation to the session in the near future. Okay, one of the obvious questions that you might be thinking of is, what are we doing with the position Chris Lee held? Well, what you need to know is that we are not looking to find another associate pastor. What we want to do instead is bring on a full-time director. They can be a pastor, but they won't be serving in a pastoral role like Ellen and I do. What they will be responsible for are the play ministries along with the community engagement ministries of the church, which includes our new Matthew 25 initiatives. All of that is currently in the works, and we hope to have someone on board by the end of this year. Finally, some more exciting news. Canyon Creek is turning 60 this September. It's also our 20th anniversary of the move from Campbell Road to our current location. So mark your calendars for September 24th, when we will have a special Sunday of celebration in honor of this remarkable milestone. For 60 years, we have been faithfully growing together, learning together, and becoming the church we are now. All of that brings me to the hurdles we face. One of those hurdles is the challenge of making sure we can continue to fully fund the ministries we currently have going on, along with the staff needed to carry them out. If you happen to attend the annual meeting earlier this year, you know that we are operating with a budget deficit. What you also know is that we had the best giving response for 2023 that we've had since my time began. Even with that, our budget deficit, we're not quite out of it yet. We can sustain it for one more year, but not beyond. So, if we're going to bring on a new full-time director to help coordinate the new initiatives, then our giving needs to be there in order to support it. It all roughly equates to about $600 more in annual giving for each family, from each household actually, to get us back to where we need to be. The other challenge has to do with our facility. Now that we've been out here for 20 years, we of course have 20-year-old building problems. You may have noticed some of the water damage in a few places here and there. Well, the issue has been evaluated and is still being evaluated some, and it should come as no surprise to hear that it will take a certain amount of capital in order to resolve it. So what does that mean? Well, it means a capital campaign. After much discernment, the session has now approved pursuing a 3-year capital campaign beginning this fall. Okay, so I'm told that anytime someone says capital campaign, ears perk up and a lot of questions come to mind, like how much are we talking about, things like that. Well, what you need to know is that we're still working all of that out, so I simply ask for your patience as we do, but I did want you to know about it. Also, it might help you to know that a survey will be sent out later on this summer by our campaign consultant, where you'll be able to give any feedback that you might have, and that will certainly help us in our planning. Of course, buildings aren't everything, right? but our facility does play a vital role in our ability to do ministry. So here's my thought. Instead of thinking about the building, think about what the building allows us to do. Picture the life-changing ministries that will be happening in the next 20 years in this place. Think, for example, of a couple who are receiving much-needed marriage counseling in the counseling center. Picture a group gathering between Canyon Creek and True Love Church. Think of all the ways in which the wider community starts to see this church as a place of light and hope and healing, a place where they feel welcome. Yes, it's definitely an exciting time to be part of what God is doing here. In fact, I happen to think that the best of this church has yet to be seen. That's why I am personally confident in our ability to rise to any challenge that may come our way. I say it often, but it's because I want you to know how I feel. You are an incredibly faithful and generous group of people to be in ministry with. I absolutely love being the pastor here. And after 12 years, I'm extremely proud to be able to say that. So as we move forward, let's do so with great hope, energy, faith, and poise as God continues to bless us in the next 60 years while we're building relationships wherever we go. God bless you all. Take care.